All right, today we are putting the world's favorite natural fiber on trial. I'm talking about cotton. You know, that soft, breathable stuff that clothes literally billions of us. And yeah, it also fueled a revolution or two. But here's the big question. Does all that comfort come at a price that's just too high? Well, let's put it on the stand and see what happens. So this is really the core of the debate, right? Is cotton truly the best of the best, an S-tier champion that we just can't live without? Or is it more of a high-performing but maybe kind of flawed A-tier crop, one that we might be leaning on just a little too much?
Okay, first up, cotton. Is it the king or is it an overworked crop? I mean, think about it. The t-shirt you're probably wearing right now, the sheets on your bed, cotton is just everywhere. It's our go-to for comfort, it's the poster child for natural simplicity, but as you're about to see, behind all that softness is a story of, well, huge scale and some pretty serious hidden costs. And to really get a sense of its scale, just look at this number, 26 million tons. That's how much cotton we produce globally every single year. So we're not just talking about a simple fiber here. This is a massive global agricultural commodity that props up entire economies and industries. And this, right here, is the central conflict with cotton, isn't it? On one side, it's soft, it's breathable, it's renewable, and biodegradable. All these things we absolutely love. But then there's the other side of the coin. It's also incredibly, unbelievably thirsty. A huge drawback. So let's talk about its history. A soft revolution, you could call it. Because to really understand cotton, you have to look at its journey. We're not just talking about the history of a fabric. This is a story that literally reshaped our world, from ancient times all the way to today.
I mean, we've been using this stuff for over 7,000 years, starting way back in the Indus Valley. But the real game changer? That was 1793, the invention of the cotton gin. Suddenly, separating seeds was easy, and that lit the fuse for the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. Cotton became the fuel for all those new textile mills. And fast forward to today, well, it's pretty much the backbone of fast fashion.
But we have to talk about the dark side of that progress. There's a real tragic irony here. The cotton gin was so efficient that the demand for raw cotton just exploded. And to meet that demand, it horrifically intensified slavery in the American South. This is an absolutely crucial and deeply dark part of cotton's story. It's something we just can't ignore.
All right, so let's start making the case for cotton. Why has this single fiber been so dominant for so long? What's its secret? Well, it all comes down to its incredible natural properties. I mean, just look at this list. The properties of a true champion. It's got that amazing softness, it's super breathable, and get this, it actually gets stronger when it's wet, which is pretty unusual. Plus, it's biodegradable, naturally hypoallergenic, and it takes dyes like a dream, which is why we get all those awesome colors. And check this out, 27 times. Cotton can hold up to 27 times its own weight in water. That is just phenomenal absorbency. And it's exactly why we use it for things like towels and even medical supplies. It's a key part of what makes it so great. So where does all this cotton go? Well, have a look. A whopping 60% of it ends up as apparel. Yep, your t-shirts, your jeans. Another 30% goes into our homes. You know, bed sheets, those super absorbent towels we were just talking about. The point is, its versatility is just off the charts. Okay, but every story has two sides. Now it's time to hear the case against cotton. We're talking about its heavy environmental footprint. For all of its amazing qualities, it carries a really heavy burden on the planet. And this, my friends, is where its claim to S-tier status starts to get a little shaky. This really lays it all out, comfort versus cost. For every single pro we love, that softness, that natural feel, there's a pretty big con on the other side. And the two biggest problems, the real elephants in the room, high water consumption and heavy pesticide use. Both can be devastating for the environment. And let's be perfectly clear, cotton is one of the most water-intensive crops in the world. If it has an Achilles heel, this is it. This one fact is the main reason we're even having this debate, the main thing holding it back from perfection.
All right, the arguments have been made. We've heard the good and we've heard the bad. Now it's time for the final verdict. We're going to run it through our 6 tough criteria and see where it lands. So where does cotton really rank?
And you know the drill. Here are the 6 criteria for judgment we use for everything. Historical impact, mechanical properties, workability, scalability, versatility, and lasting relevance. No bonus points for nostalgia. This is all about the cold, hard facts. Let's see the scores. Okay, here we go, the official scorecard. And wow, look at those numbers. A 9.0 for historical impact, absolutely. 8.5 for mechanical properties, very strong. A massive 9.5 for workability, it's just so easy to use. Even its lowest score, an 8.0 for scalability and cost, which kind of reflects those environmental issues, is still really high. It's an incredible performance all around.
So when you average all that out, what do you get? About an 8.8. And that puts it in one place, and one place only. The verdict is in, cotton lands squarely in the high A tier.
So what exactly does high A tier mean? Well, it means this is an elite essential material, no question, but its flaws are significant. That incredible thirst, the reliance on pesticides, you just can't ignore them. And those flaws are what keep it from reaching that perfect, flawless S tier.
Okay, so it's not perfect, but let's be real. High A tier is still an amazing place to be. So let's wrap up by talking about why cotton still matters so much, even with those drawbacks.
When you boil it all down, it comes to this. Natural fibers, especially cotton, have something that synthetics just can't quite replicate. And that's how it feels against your skin. It's that comfort, that softness. It's a simple, almost primal advantage that technology hasn't been able to beat. And, the story here isn't over. People are working hard to fix cotton's weak spots. We're seeing a huge growth in organic cotton. There are groups like the Better Cotton Initiative pushing for sustainability, and we're even blending it with other fibers. All of this is pointing towards a smarter, more responsible future for cotton. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about our earliest materials. Leather was for protection, right? Wool was for warmth. They were about survival. But cotton played a different role. It wasn't just about surviving. It was maybe the first fiber that really made us feel comfortable. And maybe, just maybe, that's one of the most human things there is.